And Twitter girls. Sorry for the silence, y'all. All right. That was probably terrible for the Instagram to look at, but whatever. Here we are. All right. And let me share this on. I don't know what Uber Fast is, but I said it. I love this shirt. It says, be you, they'll adjust. It says, be you, they'll adjust. I really love this shirt. I found it's one of those things that got suggested to me on an Instagram ad, and I was like, yes, give me that. It says, be you, they'll adjust. Love this shirt. Gonna go get my Red Bull, and then we're going in. We're going in. I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh my gosh, that was a song. Drake and Lil Wayne. Gosh, I can't remember how it went though. But it was, I'm going in. That's what the song was. So let me crack this open because I have not had caffeine in a few days. And that's actually not my favorite caffeine to have anymore. Now it's up time. Church announcements before we get into the book. Just so y'all know, my favorite artist right now is 7 Deep. He's a queer artist. He's bisexual. And he is raw. Okay. He has bars. Like, and he has like multiple flows. I've talked about him before here, but I want to just bring him back up again because he dropped his video a day early. It was supposed to drop tomorrow, but he dropped his video a day early. It's called Go to Hell. It's a great song. The video is fantastic. And another thing, hey, welcome in. Another thing about this video and everything that he does, he pays for it out of pocket. He's an independent artist. He works a 9 to 5 and he does his rap career. So, and he grown, like he our age, he our peer. So y'all go check out the 7 Deep. It's spelled SEVNDEEP. Go look up 7 Deep on YouTube. Watch the Go to Hell video. It is about men's relationships. You know, if that's not something you're comfortable with, you should still go listen to it because he has bars and he raps. I swear on everything. He has like 7 different flows that work well it's so good. It's so good. I have no choice but to stand. I'm like really toning it down right now, but you know. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. My name is Taylor. I'm also known as Miss Taylor Said. And I started this show on November 30th of 2020 in an effort to complete some goals that I have. One of those goals being that I want to actually complete the books that I own. I own a lot of books. I've collected a lot of books over the years, and I want to actually finish them. So I'm doing that here, and I have the opportunity to do that here. And you guys come in and y'all listen to me read books, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, the second reason why I started this show is because I want to get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience. Some of the things I want to do in my career are going to include me reading teleprompters, reading scripts, reading cue cards, speeches, things of that nature. And I want to get more comfortable with doing that now before I have to give a TED Talk one day, okay? Because I will be giving a TED Talk. It's on the list. It's on the list of things I will be doing. So, I want to get more comfortable with public speaking, with reading aloud in front of an audience, which leads me into my next thing, which also is included in the TED Talk goal that I have. I want to get more comfortable with public speaking again. I used to do public speaking in college. I even did it in high school, won an award for it in high school and everything, but I got away from it throughout the mid to later part of my 20s. So I'm turning 30 this year, and I just want to get back into my favorite place, which is to be standing at the front of the room talking to people about stuff that I really care about. So I really want to get back to my favorite place. And this 2020 gave me the opportunity to do that. Not feelings, not warm and sentimental. 2020 gave me the opportunity to do that, and I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful. I always do this. YouTube is fine. YouTube's fine. I'm incredibly thankful for you guys being here. I'm incredibly thankful for you guys listening and reading with me. And let's go ahead and dive back into the book. This book is called Adult Children. We are reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. We're reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And we are currently in the chapter where the chapter entitled How It Feels to Have a Relationship with an Emotionally Immature Parent. Yesterday, what we left off on, I talked extensively about emotional labor. We really went into that. If you missed yesterday's episode, 55 episodes later. Yep, and here we are. Yep. Sorry, I'm having a moment here. I'm very thankful. Okay. I'm gonna stand y'all for a second. Cause like y'all really be in here. Y'all really show up. Y'all really be watching the playback. Like the numbers, I've been watching the numbers on like people that actually go back to actual views on the videos after the fact. And people really be watching, like y'all really be sharing it and people really be watching this. And it's like, me? Y'all really be watching me? Hey, y'all, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm just thankful for y'all being here. Like, I don't mean to sound dorky or anything, but I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all showing up. I appreciate y'all watching the playback. I appreciate y'all clicking in for a moment and getting the heck out or whatever it is that you do. If you come in at the right time, you'll get something. You can go on with it. I appreciate y'all. So thanks. I hope it means something. I hope when it's all said and done, I did something good, you know. I hope I did something good with this. I hope people's lives got better in some capacity with this. So anyway, gonna go before I get all, Beyonce, I was here about this. Although that is my favorite Beyonce song. And I'm not gonna lie, if we get to a point where like there are multiple fans, like I'm speaking that when we get to that point and people start doing fan videos and stuff, I Was Here by Beyonce. That's the video. That's the song I want used, please. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So the next trait, let's see. The next thing that that falls under the category, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the words that I wanted to use. The next thing that falls into the category of how it feels to have a relationship with an emotionally immature parent is that they are hard to give to. They are hard to give to. If you're just now joining us, we are reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Hey, Fran. And y'all share this on your pages and everything like that. Welcome in. Emotionally immature people crave attention to their needs, yet they're actually hard to give to. This trait has been called poor receptive capacity by researcher Lee McCullough. Emotionally immature people want others to show concern about their problems, but they aren't likely to accept helpful suggestions. They reflexively reject efforts to make them feel cared about. Reject efforts to make them feel cared about. They pull others in, but when people try to help, they push them away. In addition, these people seem to expect others to read their minds and are often quick to anger if people don't anticipate their wishes fast enough. They dislike having to tell people what they need and instead hold back, waiting to see whether anyone will notice how they're feeling. The classic unspoken demand of the emotionally immature adult is, if you really loved me, you know what I want you to do. Listen. Now that's a trait I think that spreads a little wider than emotionally immature parents, because I see that on Twitter all the time. Like people just expecting people to walk into relationships knowing them and knowing how to be their partner, when it's like, bruh, they know how to connect with you walking in the door because y'all have that chemistry and y'all have that connection and y'all have that emotional bond, but they don't know how to love you yet. They don't know how to be your partner yet because they have to learn how to do it. Anyway, there's a lot of people that do that though. And as an example, one woman described her mother's habit of sitting in the den and waiting until a family member came back from the kitchen to complain angrily that the person hadn't thought to ask her if she wanted anything. Ooh, not triggered. Instead of speaking up about what they need, emotionally immature people create a malignant guessing game that keeps everybody uneasy. That's pretty self-explanatory. They're hard to give to because they're expecting you to anticipate their needs. They're expecting you to anticipate their needs, and they're not telling you what their needs are, and then reacting to you as if you should have known what their needs were when they didn't communicate it. Can't give to somebody you don't know what they need. The next section, they resist repairing relationships. My incense. I have a good luck incense burning right now, and it's all wrapping the smoke around me. I love when it happens like that. Let me see what Sorante said before. You did. I actually had a discussion with my father last weekend, and it was thanks to you in this book, and it went great. All thanks to your inspiration. Well, you guys, I did it. That's the end of the show. Helped a person. I changed the world. Well, gonna go ahead and log off. Y'all have a great night. Thank you. Reading Miss Taylor Said is wrapped. It's done. I'm done. I did the job. I did it. We did it, Joe. We did it. Okay, I'm just joking. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry. I'm glad I'm in a goofy mood, but I gotta stop playing and read the book. Okay, I probably sound crazy to my neighbors, y'all. Okay, they resist repairing relationships. How it feels to have a relationship with an emotionally immature parent. They resist repairing relationships. It's another trait of that. So problems are bound to come up in any relationship. So it's important to know how to handle conflict in ways that help the relationship weather the storm. It takes confidence and maturity to admit to being wrong and try to make things better. But emotionally immature people resist facing their mistakes. People who have been wronged by an emotionally immature person may start to think they're at fault if they continue to feel hurt by what the person did. Emotionally immature people expect you to take them off the hook immediately. If it feels better to blame you for not forgiving them fast enough, that's what they'll do. Woo! Woo! Instead of admitting they're wrong, they will blame you, or instead of like allowing you to sit in their wrong, they blame you for not forgiving them fast enough. That is quite an assessment that is relevant and resonates, okay? After a rift, many people will make what relationship expert John Gottman calls a repair attempt, apologizing, asking for forgiveness, or making amends in a way that shows a desire to patch things up. But emotionally immature people have a completely unrealistic idea of what forgiveness means. Welcome in. We're reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Okay. But emotionally immature people have a completely unrealistic idea of what forgiveness means. To them, forgiveness should make it like the rift never happened, as though a completely fresh start is possible. They have no awareness of the need for emotional processing or the amount of time it may take to rebuild trust after a major betrayal. They just want things to be normal again. Others' pain is the only fly in the ointment. Everything will be fine if others would just get past their feelings about the situation. And that's where you got people that will call you sensitive. They'll say you're being too sensitive because you're not just getting over things. Just get over it. Just let it go already. When you gonna be over that? Why you still upset about that? When you gonna be over that? And this stuff is relevant for parents. So always understand that all the stuff that we're talking about is primarily talking about emotionally immature parents, but the emotional immaturity factor translates across people. So we gonna dabble in both, okay? So they will dead ass be like, why haven't you forgiven me yet? Why are you still upset? You're so sensitive. When it's like, no, I was emotionally injured. I was emotionally injured by you, because I'm about to get on people's nerves with that. I'm about to get on the emotionally immature people in my life. I'm about to get on their nerves with that. Like, I was emotionally injured by you, and it hurt, and it left a scar. It left a wound. And now I have to do the work I need to do to clean that wound, put it back together, and then let it heal before I'm even concerned about you. Because you're not me. You can't heal my wound for me. You can't be the tissues and fibers and all the stuff in my body that are in the antibodies and all my wound. You can't do that. All you can do is express remorse and acknowledge my pain and not act like, oh shit, why you ain't fixed that cut yet? Why is it not healed yet? Well, it just happened. So it just happened last week. And I don't know if you know a thing or two about open wounds, but they don't just heal just because I think them to. They don't just heal because I said, hey, heal. It don't work like that. And neither do your emotions. Your emotions don't work like that. So if somebody emotionally injures you, it is on them. Now, it's on you to make sure that you heal. However, if they want to maintain the relationship with you and they were the ones that emotionally injured you, it is on them. It is their responsibility to do what they can to mend the relationship and rebuild that trust. But people that are emotionally immature, they don't care about mending, forgiveness, and healing and rebuilding trust. They don't care about those factors. They just want things back to normal. It reminds me of Girlfriends, when Tony had told when Tony was doing all that stuff to Joan in season 1 or season 2, I don't know. I think it was season 1. When Tony was doing all that stuff to Joan and she was trying to get her man to sleep with her, and she told all her business to her boss, and all the things that she did, you know, all the emotional injuries that she dealt out to Joan. And what did she want? She just wanted things to go back to normal. She didn't want her to see a therapist. She didn't want her to do her own healing, because it was never about Joan. It was never about Joan. It was about Tony feeling normal, Tony feeling entitled to that relationship because of, you know, the title of best friend, because of the number of years that were spent together, because of the debt that she felt like was owed because like, well, when you were going through this, I was there for you, or when you were in that argument, I took up for you and I defended you. And so like people feel entitled because of incidents that happened in the past. But as we know from the Four Agreements and Don Miguel Ruiz and all of his works, this is all a dream. And what is happening right now is what is relevant. I can only make decisions off of what is right now in front of me. I cannot make decisions on things that happened in the past because those decisions were already made. Those decisions were already made. Those decisions are long gone. The consequences of those decisions are, for the most part, long gone. Because even though I may have residual consequences that snowballed, you know, from the back days, it's like, baby, wherever I was 10 years ago, wherever I was 5 years ago, wherever I was 2 years, 1 year, 5 months, a day ago, wherever I was, that's then. And I'm not that anymore. I'm literally not that anymore. I am who I am right now. And if I cannot hold you accountable and be respected enough to have concern shown for me, have, you know, I'm not here to deal out guilt. I don't ever want to make people feel guilty. Don't guilt yourself into loving me. Don't guilt yourself into doing right by me. If you gonna do right by me, do right by me. If you have that level of integrity, then go for it. Do what you feel is the right thing to do. But if what you feel is the right thing to do is to not do right by me, you can't be mad when I move away, when I step back, when I say, I'm done, I'm good. I'm good. You can't be mad at me when I do that. You got to just eat that. But emotionally immature people, they're so set in their ways. Their vision is narrow. Their vision is narrow as heck. And they can't do anything outside of the world that they've built. Y'all got to really watch that Red Table Talk with Dr. Romney about narcissists. Because a lot of this stuff sounds like narcissistic behavior. It's not necessarily this doesn't all fall under narcissism, but it sounds like a lot of narcissistic behavior, because it's like you just want things the way you want it because you feel entitled. You feel entitled to those relationships, and it's not fair. No person is entitled to another person. The only people that are entitled to people are children being entitled to their parents. Children are entitled to their parents because those children did not ask to be here. Children are entitled to their parents. Every other relationship outside of that there's no entitlement there. There are incentives. There are incentives as to why you should, you know, you could pay a lot of attention to that relationship and nurture it, you know, like siblings and aunts and uncles and family relationships. Yeah, there are incentives as to why you would nurture those relationships, but you're not entitled to any person on this planet. You're not. And you're just not. So outside of your parents, you're entitled to your parents because you didn't ask to be here. Which brings us back to emotionally immature people, immature parents. Yep. So, okay. I was about to get into a really good point and I forgot because I was like, I'll bring it back to the book. But you're not entitled to anyone. So, sorry. You're not entitled to anyone. And no one's entitled to you. I don't remember the point I was going to make, y'all. Oh, that's what it was. You're not entitled to anyone. So if you want to maintain a relationship, you have to do it on your own. You have to be the one to put forth effort. It don't matter what the other person does. It don't matter. What that other person does has nothing to do with you. Ultimately, the choices they make to contribute to your relationship, that is on them. It's not on you. If you care about the friendship, if you care about the romantic relationship, if you care about the familial relationship, you have to contribute to that. If that's something that you want to participate in and something that you want to nurture, you have to participate in it in some form or fashion. However, whatever language y'all speak between each other that makes it so that y'all's communication is where y'all want it to be, do that. But it's on you. So when you hurt somebody else with your actions or your words, that's on you to make sure that you nurture that person because you agree to that form of relationship with them. And if you are not trying to nurture that, then step away from them and let them go and let them be free of you so that they can move on with their life. And they may feel betrayed and they may feel hurt and everything like that. However, it's going to show them, for one, it's going to show them if the relationship was healthy in the first place. Because if their life gets better because the relationship is gone, maybe it really wasn't that great of a relationship to have. If their life gets worse because of the relationship being gone, then maybe they need to do some self-evaluation. Either way, it's a benefit. It might hurt, like it's going to hurt like hell because losing relationships hurts. But it's going to be a benefit to all parties involved because you're going to find out what's really real and what things you dreamed up within that relationship just because of whatever kind of bond y'all had that may not necessarily be healthy. Because you could have been trauma bonded. You could have been bonded by a karmic debt. You could have been bonded by an institution like school or work. You could have been bonded by something that actually has nothing to do with who you are at this time. And now you sitting there maintaining a relationship and you have no idea why. Because what do y'all even have in common anymore? If you take away those tangible factors, that third party factors that have nothing to do with y'all, what do you have in your relationship? What can you say? It's what fruit is the relationship bearing? I need to pass around the offering plate now. All right. What fruit is that relationship bearing? If you can't come up with a good answer for that, then step away. And if you and that person, whoever that person is, whether it's, again, familial, platonic, or romantic, like if y'all step away from each other and you go heal and you go do your self-reflection and all the stuff that we're doing, you go and do that. And then you come back and you're like, I'm all healed up now. And I could be a better person to you in this relationship. I could be a better participant in this relationship now because I went and did the work. And if they don't accept you back, you have to not take that personally. You can't take that personally because there's that chance. That is a possibility, possible outcome. And you have to be okay with that. And if you go off and do the healing, if you go off and do the work, if you go off and do the therapy, if you go off and do the shadow work and all of that, you'll be okay with that outcome because you knew walking back that it's a possibility this is not going to work out the way I want it to, that the dynamic is going to be completely different than it was before. I literally have a friendship where we fell out, we parted ways, and like it didn't happen smoothly. It was not a smooth thing at all. It was ugly. And we came back. Now we're friends again because we went out and we got hurt, went out into the world, ventured away, got hurt, got healed enough to come back to each other and have friendship again. It's not the same dynamic that it was before. It's not the same dynamic as it was before, but there's love. And that is worth it. That makes all of it worth it. Because we could have stayed in friendship with each other and just been hurting each other the whole time because of titles. Because we felt entitled to each other because, well, I called you my best friend, so I'm entitled to you. And it would have just got worse because we weren't okay. We weren't okay individually, and it made us bad to each other. And so when we parted ways, we both went on our own journeys. We both went through hurt. We both went through loss. We both went through pain. We both went through bad relationships. We both went through a whole lot of stuff. And we pulled ourselves back up. We both pulled ourselves back up. So that by the time we came back together, we could look at each other and be like, my sister, I missed you. Oh, how I missed you, my love. Oh, that's my girl. Oh. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so let's see what Sorante said. He said, Woo Taylor with a good word tonight. Amen. You have to accept that you are the villain in that person's story. Yes, you have changed and you are better, but if you're not taken back, that's okay. It's something that must be accepted and learned from. Sorante with the word tonight. Y'all going past the offering plate. Going past the offering plate, all right? I'm enjoying the bareface regular schmegular clothes day. Might have to add that into the itinerary when I take out Wednesdays with Pink, because this is comfortable and not as much work. Okay, anyway, gonna get back into the book. The next section is called They Demand Mirroring. They demand mirroring. Mirroring is a form of empathy and relatedness that mature parents spontaneously give their children. Sensitive and emotionally responsive parents mirror their children's feelings by showing those same emotions on their face. They look concerned when their children are sad and display enthusiasm when their children are happy. In this way, sensitive parents teach their children about emotions and how to engage spontaneously with others. Good mirroring from a parent also gives a child the feeling of being known and understood as a unique individual. This isn't the case for children of emotionally immature parents. As one man said regarding his mother, she doesn't see me for who I am. She will never know me, even though I'm her own child. In fact, emotionally immature parents expect their children to know and mirror them. Woo! It's like they took my life and just said, here's a book about it. They can get highly upset if their children don't act the way they want them to. Their fragile self-esteem rides on things going their way every time. Ooh. It's giving big my way or the highway vibes. It's giving big happy wife, happy life vibes. It's giving, like if one parent is not happy, the whole house gets shut down. Ain't nobody happy. It's giving like, if I'm in a good mood, you better be in a good mood too. And don't embarrass me in front of these people. It's giving, oh my gosh, it's giving, if I'm upset, everyone in the house needs to be upset as well. Because if I hear laughter while I'm upset, I'm going to come and mess your day up because I'm upset. Ooh, it's giving all of that. It's giving all of that. It's giving when you're getting yelled at by your parent for something, if you make a face that isn't the face that they're okay with, or getting your face policed. Why are you sticking your lip out? Why are you biting your lip? Why are you laughing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm reacting naturally based on the emotions I'm experiencing, but now I'm getting questioned about the facial expressions that I can't see because I'm not in a mirror. I'm getting questioned about, like, dead ass. That is why I practice facial expressions. That is why I spend so much time in the mirror. I used to spend a lot of time in the mirror practicing my faces so that I wouldn't get in trouble for making a certain face when I was getting yelled at. I used to practice my faces so that I wouldn't get in trouble for making faces when I was being yelled at. Ooh. Let's get back into this book. Ooh, shit. All right. Dang. That's deep. That's deep. my facial expression. Like literally, we were taught how to code switch because it was like, you have to make acceptable faces in front of me. Otherwise, I'm going to take your facial expressions as disrespect, even though it is normal for you to have a facial expression when you are going through something, when you're experiencing something. Look at all the facial expressions I freaking made in this little bit of time just because I'm talking about this. So now someone's yelling at me, they're cussing at me, they're getting in my face, they're stomping around, they're slamming things. They look like a threat to me. My body is interpreting this person as a threat. Brain is just going off like, this bitch finna kill us. She about to kill us. She about to kill us. She about to kill us. I hope you know that you about to die. You about to die, or you about to be hurt so bad. Like you about to die. Like that's what my brain is telling me. It wasn't the truth, obviously not. I'm here. I mean, and even thankfully, because of the fact that I cried so easily, I didn't get as many physical whoopings, because in the trauma responses, so there's fight, flight, there's fight or flight, and then there's also fawn. And fawning, F-A-W-N, fawning is when you try to appeal to the threat. So you, instead of trying to fight back to it or running away from it, which I never did either of them, you try to appeal to it to try to change it. You try to appeal to its emotions and be like, hey, so I'm nice, I'm not scary. And if you like, I'm going up to the lion that is hungry and ain't ate in 2 weeks. And I'm walking up to it like, hey, kitty, how you doing? It's okay. Please don't bite me. Ah, oh, you bit my arm. It's all right. I have another arm to pet you with and be nice to you with. Like, that's what fawning is. And so that's what I did, because I saw my older sister be, I mean, I ain't gonna flake. I just saw my sister get knocked upside her head with fists and pushes and all kinds of stuff. It was scary. Some scary stuff. Scary stuff to us. My sister was, when she was a teenager, so I was like between the ages of like 6 and 9. Yeah, between them years, it was some pretty intense shit happening between my mama and my sister. And my sister, her trauma response is fight. My sister gonna fight. My sister will die before she go out without a fight. My sister will go out with a fight. She ain't going without it. Cause that's who she is. My younger siblings, when they went to get whoopings, they ran. Flight. Me, I fawn. I try to appeal. I don't remember what my brother's is. I try to appeal to the threat. So I would practice my facial expressions so that I could appeal to the threat, because otherwise I would feel like I was going to die. Anyway. In fact, emotionally immature. Yeah, I said that already. Okay. In fact, emotionally immature parents expect their children to know and mirror them. They can get highly upset if their children don't act the way they want them to. Their fragile self-esteem rides on things going their way every time. However, no child is psychologically capable of mirroring an adult accurately. No, is psychologically capable of mirroring an adult accurately. It's almost as if children are tiny adults that have underdeveloped brains. It's a wild concept. It's like this little human that just got its bearings with the ability to walk a couple years ago. It's almost like they don't have a fully developed adult brain that can process the human emotions of an adult. What a concept. Whew. Emotionally immature parents often have the fantasy that their babies will make them feel good about themselves. When their children turn out to have their own needs, oh my God forbid, a separate human from myself has their own needs. It can send such parents into a state of intense anxiety. Those who are extremely emotionally mature may then use punishment. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Those who are extremely emotionally immature may then use punishments, threats of abandonment, and shaming as trump cards in an attempt to feel in control and bolster their self-esteem at their children's expense. It's almost as if children are children and adults are adults. That's like crazy. It's crazy. It's a crazy concept. Gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm and this is us. This is our people. And the reason why our people are like this is because of freaking capitalization and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, this is people that have used specifically Christianity to get away with abusing their kids. Those who are extremely emotionally immature may then use punishments, threats of abandonment, and shaming and violence as trump cards in an attempt to feel in control and bolster their self-esteem at their children's expense. I don't have kids because I know I knew that I was not mature enough to have children at that time. And I didn't have a partner that was my spouse to have children at that time. But a lot of people are making the decision to be parents, or allowing parenthood to be a consequence of poorly made decisions. And this is not, I'm not talking about special circumstances and, systematic oppression and stuff like that. I'm talking about the people that have the sex education, that choices, things they knew better and they didn't make the choice. Ugh. And now they out here whooping these kids that they can't, that they feel like they gotta whoop because they weren't prepared to be a parent. Don't like that. That's uncomfortable. It all works together. Does a lot of this stuff happen? Does a lot of the child experience with an emotionally immature parent happen because of generational curses and stuff that's happened systematically? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I too am a part of that system. I too am a part of those generational things. I too am not wealthy or even middle class by any means. I'm not. I've had plenty of times where I've gotten pregnant, but there have been so many choices I've made to not. And even at the thought, the idea, it's immediate action better, is because I had to do my own research for reproductive education. So there's a lot of accountability here on so many different sides of this. But however, I'm talking from people to people. Anyway, let's get into Cynthia's story. How much time we got? Okay, let's get into Cynthia's story. Cynthia's mother, Stella, who was extremely volatile, expected Cynthia to mirror her every mood like an emotional clone. When Cynthia decided to travel as a young adult, Stella exploded, yelling, "You're disowned!" and broke off all contact with Cynthia. She didn't talk to Cynthia for months, not even on her birthday. Cynthia summed up her mother's message as, "You wanted to be on your own. You left me. I don't want anything to do with you." After another episode of rage sparked by Cynthia's plan to visit a friend in Canada, Stella cut off Cynthia's college funds. She told Cynthia that she was selfish for wanting to travel, saying, "What's the matter with you? Life isn't about having fun." Stella could only feel safe if Cynthia mirrored the same kind of life she'd had. Fortunately, Cynthia had a strong personality. She put herself through college and became a flight attendant, traveling to exotic locations. But in the back of her mind, she still had the belief that if she wanted to keep any relationship, she had to appease and mirror the other person. She told me that she always feared people would react as her mother did, punishing her for daring to be different from them. That sounds familiar. Their self-esteem rides on your compliance. Their self-esteem rides on your compliance. And this will probably be the last section we read. People who are emotionally immature only feel good about themselves when they can get other people to give them what they want and to act like they think they should. Given this shaky self-worth, it's hard for emotionally immature people to tolerate their children's emotions. An upset or fussy child can stir up their anxieties about their own fundamental goodness. If they can't immediately calm their child, they may feel like a failure and then blame the child for upsetting them. For instance, Jeff remembered an incident from childhood when he asked his father to help with homework. When Jeff didn't understand the lesson immediately, his father yelled, "How goddamn stupid can you be? Stop being so lazy. You just don't try." Y'all want to talk about it? Y'all want to talk about homework and how it felt to do homework? Y'all want to talk about it? I didn't have this issue because school came easy to me. I got very good at this all of this. Literally, yo, oh my God, yo. What if I'm not actually smart? What if I'm just really, really what if I just have all these practices from, what if I just have all these practices from the emotional stuff? And oh my gosh, all these things I picked up to combat having emotionally immature parents. And then I just did that with the adults at the school. And then that's why I got good grades. Oh God, what if that's the reason? What if the reason? Because I got good at, because when I tell you, that's the reason why, that's part of the reason why I don't want to go back to school until I can do in person. Because the thing is, even if I don't read the book, do you know how many classes I bullshitted my way through and I didn't read the books? That's why I'm reading them now on the show. Because I didn't read them in college. I bought these books and I didn't read them. I would skim them. I would use the internet and I would talk about it. And if I could get into a discussion with my friends or if I could get in a discussion with my classmates about it, I would know the information. But not because I sat there and read it. I would follow every time I open a book. This is why this is so great. This is why this is so great, y'all. Because if I had been assigned this book in college, I would open this book and every 2 pages I would fall asleep. I love reading, but if I'm being told to read, listen, okay. But let's get back to what I was saying, the original point that I was making about homework. Because I watched my brother get the standing there frustrated. If Johnny had 2 apples and then he gave away 1, how many apples does Johnny have? I definitely remember that frustration happening with my siblings. And it's not because they weren't smart or anything, because all of my siblings are very smart. It's just that school came easier to some of us. And the way that school is done is not school is done in a way that's one size fits all, but everybody's different and they learn differently and they process information differently. But we don't have to get into that. But the standing there frustrated, getting yelled at, getting popped for not making it easy for them to do the parent thing. God, how dare you learn something new and not understand it because it's new information? What? You insane person. Okay. Not surprisingly, Jeff was mortified and didn't ask for help again. And that's what happens. You end up not asking for help because you know that there's great shame. What he couldn't understand as a child was that his father was fighting his own terror of being an incompetent father if he failed to help his son understand easily and immediately. His reaction wasn't about Jeff at all. For emotionally immature people, all interactions boil down to the question of whether they're good people or bad ones, which explains their extreme defensiveness if you try to talk to them about something they did. They often respond to even mild complaints about their behavior with an extreme statement like, well, then I must be the worst mother ever. Or obviously I can't do anything right. Ooh. They would rather shut down communication than hear something that can make them feel like bad people. Because it's worse to be bad or perceived as bad than to actually hold yourself accountable and just be present and be a good parent and you don't even have to be good at it. You don't have to be good. Just try. Just freaking try. Verbatim. Verbatim. Exactly those words. You're not always right, Taylor. That's one I've heard. I mean, yeah, I know I'm not always right, but I'm okay with admitting that. Are you? Okay. But I mean, it is what it is. That's my experience. That's my story. Anyway, y'all, be you. They'll adjust. Be you. Be you. They will adjust. Be you. If what do I say? What do I always freaking say? If we aren't going to do anything else over here, Miss Taylor said, we're going to do what we can to be to be the most authentic version of ourselves. Be the youest you that you could possibly be. Be as loud, live your life loudly. Be you as loud as possible. Because treat your kids like humans. You should be their friend. You're in a position of authority. That came from my mom friend. B. Treat your kids like humans. She's a mom. She's been doing this for a little while. She got 2 of them. They're boys. Okay? Treat your kids like humans. You should be their friend. You're just in a position of authority. That's it. You just happen to have the authority over the decisions that they're unable to make because they're children. That's it. Everything else to do with their emotional well-being, their autonomy, all of that, that's for their little bodies and their little minds for them to figure out and get acclimated with. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate myself for showing up relatively on time today. I'm pretty proud of that. And I hope that y'all have a great night. I hope that y'all have a great day. I just realized that I didn't plug in my microphone for YouTube. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we still have a good audio there. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I will see y'all tomorrow. I ain't wearing no pink tomorrow. The pink on Wednesdays is over. It's over. Just so it's clear. The pink on Wednesdays is over. I'm out of pink and I ain't buying no more. All right. I'm gonna drink my wine and that's it. Ain't no more pink. That season is over with. That should have been done with the first 50 episodes. Oh God, that was such a struggle. I ain't doing it no more. All right. Anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I hope that y'all have a lovely evening. Go make you some dinner, drink you some water, have yourself a little glass of something. You know what I'm saying? Because you grown. For the grown people. You know, yeah, yourself a little glass. And y'all have a good night. See y'all later. Bye. Bye. There we go. And bye.